Some seek paradise, others something darker. Haunted hotels offer a glimpse into the unknown, a chance to brush against the veil, their allure, a cocktail of fear and fascination. The Grand Blackwood loomed, a Victorian mansion on a wind-swept cliff. Its dark silhouette stood stark against the stormy sky, a foreboding presence that seemed to watch over the turbulent sea below. The waves crashed violently against the rocks, sending sprays of salty mist into the air, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Ivy clung to its crumbling facade like skeletal fingers, weaving through the cracks and crevices of the ancient stone. The once grand structure now bore the scars of time, its windows dark and empty, like hollow eyes staring into the void. Inside, dust motes danced in the air, thick with the scent of damp and decay. The grand foyer, with its high ceilings and ornate moldings, was a shadow of its former glory. Cobwebs draped the corners, and the once polished wooden floors were now dull and worn. The receptionist, a gaunt man with haunted eyes, handed me the key to room 207. His bony fingers trembled slightly as he passed the tarnished brass key across the counter. "Welcome to the Grand Blackwood," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. "Sleep well," he rasped, a chilling smile playing on his lips. His eyes, sunken and shadowed, seemed to bore into my soul, leaving me with an uneasy feeling that lingered long after I turned away. His words echoed in my ears as I climbed the grand staircase, its once plush carpet threadbare with age. The banister, once a gleaming mahogany, was now scratched and faded, a testament to the countless hands that had gripped it over the years. Each step creaked a mournful tune, the only sound besides the howling wind outside. The walls were lined with portraits of stern-faced ancestors, their eyes following me as I ascended, adding to the oppressive atmosphere. An unsettling feeling settled over me, a prickle of anticipation mixed with dread. The hallway stretched out before me, dimly lit by flickering sconces that cast eerie shadows on the walls. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that unseen eyes were tracking my every move. Finally, I reached room 207. The door was old and wooden, with the number barely visible on a tarnished brass plaque. I inserted the key into the lock, the metal cold and unyielding in my hand. As the door creaked open, a gust of musty air greeted me, carrying with it the secrets of the past. The room was dimly lit, with antique furniture arranged haphazardly. A single candle flickered on the nightstand, casting long dancing shadows on the walls. The bed, with its heavy velvet drapes, looked inviting yet ominous, as if it held stories of restless nights and whispered fears. I sat on the edge of the bed, the mattress sagging under my weight. My eyes scanned the room, taking in every detail, every corner where shadows seemed to gather. The silence was thick, broken only by the occasional creak of the old building settling. My hand gripped the bedpost tightly, my knuckles white with tension. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing in the stillness. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was lurking just out of sight, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. With a deep breath, I lay down, pulling the covers up to my chin. The fabric was heavy and smelled faintly of mothballs. I closed my eyes, willing myself to relax, but the unease remained, a constant companion in the darkness. The candle flickered one last time before going out, plunging the room into complete darkness. I lay there listening to the sounds of the old mansion, every creak and groan amplified in the silence. Sleep was elusive, as my mind raced with thoughts of what might be hiding in the shadows. Room 207 was cavernous and cold. Moonlight spilled through the tattered curtains, casting long, dancing shadows. A chill ran down my spine as I stepped inside. The air was heavy, thick with an unseen presence. I tried to shake off the feeling, attributing it to the old building and my own overactive imagination. Sleep proved elusive. Every creak of the floorboards, every groan of the old house sent my heart racing. Once I could have sworn I heard a whisper, soft and chilling, right by my ear. The next day, I explored the hotel, its grand staircase and long hallways echoing with a history that seemed almost tangible. Each step I took felt like a journey back in time, as if the walls themselves were whispering secrets of the past. Drawn deeper into its mystery, I found myself captivated by the atmosphere. The dimly lit corridors seemed to stretch endlessly, each door hiding stories untold. The sound of an old key turning in a lock echoed through the silence, adding to the sense of anticipation. In the dusty library I found a guest book dating back a century. The pages were yellowed with age and the ink had faded, but the stories within were still vivid. Each entry was a glimpse into the lives of those who had stayed here long ago. One entry, scrawled in faded ink, mentioned a tragedy. A young woman, her heart broken, had leapt from the cliffs to her death. The words were filled with sorrow, and I could almost feel the weight of her despair. The cliffs by the sea were as dramatic as the story itself. The waves crashed against the rocks with a relentless fury, as if echoing the turmoil in the young woman's heart. Standing there, I could almost see her final moments, a tragic end to a sorrowful tale. That night, the whispers returned, louder this time. They seemed to fill the room, surrounding me with their eerie presence. The shadows on the walls danced in the dim light, creating an atmosphere of unease. They seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, as if the very fabric of the building was alive with the voices of the past. The peeling paint and old wallpaper added to the sense of decay, a reminder of the passage of time. Filled with a deep, unfathomable sadness, the temperature plummeted. The room grew cold and I could see my breath in the air. It was as if the sorrow of the past had seeped into the very walls, chilling the air around me. The air grew thick with the scent of salt water and lilies. The same scent described in the guest book entry. It was a haunting reminder of the young woman's tragic end, a scent that seemed to linger in the air, refusing to fade. The same scent described in the guest book entry. It was as if the past was reaching out, trying to make its presence known. The scent of lilies and salt water filled the room, a poignant reminder of a life lost and a story that refused to be forgotten. Exhaustion finally claimed me, but my sleep was troubled by vivid nightmares. I saw the young woman, her face pale and drawn, her eyes filled with an unbearable sadness. She reached out to me, her touch icy cold, and whispered my name. I woke with a gasp, my heart pounding in my chest. The room was freezing and the curtains billowed inwards as if caught in a sudden gust of wind, but the window was closed. Standing there in the pre-dawn light, I felt a presence, cold and mournful, watching me. Days turned into a blur of strange occurrences. Objects moved on their own. Footsteps echoed in the hallway outside my room, always stopping just outside my door. The line between reality and nightmare blurred. Fear warred with a strange fascination. I was terrified, yet I couldn't bring myself to leave. The Grand Blackwood held me captive, its secrets beckoning me deeper into its haunted heart. One night as I sat reading in the flickering lamplight, the door to my room swung open with a bang. A cold wind swept through the room, extinguishing the lamp and plunging me into darkness. I fumbled for the switch, my heart pounding against my ribs. As the light flickered back on, I saw her, the woman from my dreams. She stood in the center of the room, her form more solid now, her face etched with a profound sadness. This was no fleeting shadow, no figment of my imagination. This was real. I spent the remaining days and nights researching the hotel's history, poring over old newspapers and local archives. The story of the young woman, Amelia, unfolded before me. She had been engaged to the hotel owner's son, but he had left her, breaking her heart and driving her to her death. Her ghost, it seemed, was trapped within the walls of the Grand Blackwood, her spirit unable to find peace. I checked out of the Grand Blackwood, a place that had once seemed like a mere stopover in my journey, but had turned into a labyrinth of unsettling experiences. The moment I stepped out of its grand yet ominous entrance, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders, but it was quickly replaced by a different kind of burden, a psychological one. I was a changed man. The experiences had shaken me to my core, leaving me with a sense of unease that I couldn't quite shake off. The hotel, with its dark hallways and eerie silence, had a way of getting under your skin. It was as if the walls themselves whispered secrets, secrets that were never meant to be uncovered. I found myself constantly questioning my own sanity. Were the events I witnessed real, or were they simply the product of an overactive imagination? The line between reality and illusion had become so blurred that I could no longer distinguish between the two. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the lights seemed to hold a deeper, more sinister meaning. I pondered endlessly, trying to make sense of it all. Was it the hotel's eerie atmosphere that played tricks on my mind, or was there something genuinely supernatural at play? The more I thought about it, the more elusive the answers became. It was as if the hotel itself was a living entity, feeding off my fear and confusion. The hotel's eerie atmosphere and my own suggestibility seemed to fuel each other, creating a perfect storm of psychological torment. The line between reality and the supernatural had become blurred, and I was left to grapple with the unsettling possibility that some things cannot be explained by logic or reason. The Grand Blackwood was not just a building, it was a labyrinth of the mind, a place where reality and nightmare intertwined. I was left to grapple with the unsettling possibility that some things cannot be explained by logic or reason. The Grand Blackwood, with its tragic history and its ghostly resident, had left an indelible mark on my psyche. It was a place where the past and present coexisted in a haunting dance, each step echoing with the weight of untold stories and unresolved mysteries. The Grand Blackwood, with its tragic history and its ghostly resident, was more than just a hotel. It was a repository of human fears and anxieties, a place where the boundaries between the living and the dead seemed to blur. Its walls were steeped in sorrow, its corridors echoed with the whispers of those long gone. It was a place that demanded to be remembered, even if the memories it left behind were far from pleasant. As I walked away from the Grand Blackwood, I couldn't help but look back one last time. The hotel stood there, silent and imposing, a monument to the mysteries that lie hidden beneath the surface of our world. It would forever hold a place in my memory, a chilling reminder of the thin veil that separates reality from the unknown. The experiences I had there would haunt me for years to come, a constant reminder that some questions are better left unanswered, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden beneath the surface of our world. The Grand Blackwood had opened a door to a realm of uncertainty and fear, a door that could never be fully closed. It was a place that challenged my understanding of reality, forcing me to confront the unsettling possibility that the world is far more mysterious and complex than we can ever comprehend. And so I walked away, forever changed, carrying with me the weight of the unknown.